February 9th, 1996, The X-Files premieres Piper Maru. A ship discovers a ghost from the Pacific depth, a secret WW2 submarine, and a lost atomic bomb meant for Japan. The ship was named after Gillian Anderson's daughter, carrying the suffix Maru, the Japanese symbol for a perfect circle, a promise that a ship will return home. Shh. But circles close in ways we don't expect. February 9th, 2001, exactly 5 years to the day, the Ehime Maru, a Japanese training vessel, is sailing off Hawaii. Beneath it, the nuclear-powered USS Greenville performs an emergency surface for civilian donors. The collision is instant. The Ehime Maru sinks in 10 minutes. The synchronicity is haunting. In fiction, the tragedy is tied to an atomic bomb, supposedly. In reality, the submarine was fundraising for the USS Missouri, the ship where the war with Japan ended. 9 lives were lost on the anniversary of the premiere episode. In 1996, they told us the truth is out there. In 2001, the truth surfaced from the dark. The X-Files episode premiered 30 years ago, 30-year nostalgia loop. The tragedy, the real world tragedy, occurred on the 25-year loop, 25 years ago. But these two incidences have strange synchronicities and coincidences. And if you come from conspiracy theory land, as some of y'all do, then you know that this is a field full of dots just ripe for connecting. Let's not forget Chris Carter, the headstone of the X-Files, the progenitor, if you will, of that mighty magnum opus of a show, was a Freemason. Let's start at the beginning. The episode Piper Maru. Now, the ship Piper Maru in this episode is not a Japanese vessel, and the suffix Maru is a Japanese name used by Japanese cultures to affix to their ships. People often know the name Maru and associate with naval vessels. That's probably because you remember the Kobayashi Maru training exercise from Star Trek. It has permeated into culture, and I believe it's permeated into Western naval cultures for a no-win situation. The purpose of the training exercise to teach people how to deal with a no-win situation. Stick a pin in that. We're talking about subtle messages that Mr. Carter may have been trying to tell us. Speculating here, folks. It's all speculation. So it's a French salvage vessel that has the name Piper Maru, not a Japanese vessel. American veterans of World War II would know the name Maru as well and associate it with naval vessels as well. But of course, they would associate it with what they called hell ships because they would learn the name Maru, the suffix Maru, from ships that were transporting them as prisoners of war. So it's odd that you would see the name Maru attached to a Western vessel, but this is a civilian vessel that we're supposed to contemplate for the Piper Maru. It was out trying to salvage something. The cover story was that what it ended up finding was a ship or something, a bomber intending to deliver the third atomic bomb to be dropped on Japan. But of course, that was just a cover story. I'm sorry, my friend. Hey, listen, you're lucky I'm not. The nephew of Cenk Uygur over here. All I got is sound effects. Come on, baby. What? It's a beeper, dude. Beep, beep, beep. There you go. Sorry, my friend. Got a little sonic warfare I got to do over here. My bad. The beeper. Um, Even pre-recorded, I'm good. I'm gonna still upload this bad boy. That's me. We're doing it live, even when we're not doing it live. You think I'm gonna do another take? I'm not doing another take. He's coming back for more, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know that I'm not abusing this animal, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm recording here, folks. Guys, why don't you come in the shot? Why don't you guys come in the shot? Why don't you come on the shot? Hey, listen, as long as okay, we're no longer a short video. This is going to be a short video, by the way. Hmm. So listen, the nuclear warhead was a cover story. Turns out, guess what? It was the intelligent alien Black goo. Whatever happened to the Black goo? It was such a big hit in 2015. The secret space program, super soldiers were finding it everywhere. It was in Argentina, right? That's what the Falkland War, where the former Prince Andrew got his bona fides as a something in the Falklands War, right? Apparently, it was all over the artificial intelligent black goo, or whatever. But no. So Chris Carter went on to write that Piper Maru was written to showcase two visual images that Chris Carter, Freemason, stonecutter, if you're Fox aficionado, was written to showcase two visual images Chris Carter had wanted to include in a script since the beginning of the show. The first of these was that of a deep sea diver finding a still living pilot trapped in a wreckage of a World War II era fighter plane. And the second was that of a black and white flashback taking place in a submarine. Do you often dream of submarines, Mr. Bosley? How about volcanoes? Do volcanoes do anything for you? Table that. Um, Yada. They end up finding a P-51 Mustang, artificial intelligent black goo. You get it. Where's the coincidence? 5 years later, there was a real world tragedy when the Ehime Maru, a high school, a Japanese fishery high school training ship, was caused to sink when it was struck by the USS Greenville, a nuclear powered sub that was, quite frankly, probably engaged in some showboating, no pun intended, maneuvers to impress corporate bigwigs who the Navy was trying to get to induce to give money to a project to restore the USS Missouri, where the Japanese surrender at the end of World War II was signed. Nine people died, all aboard the Japanese vehicle. No fatalities or um, other casualties aboard the U.S. vehicle. Nine people were killed, three crew members, four high school students, two teachers. If you're numerologically inclined, that's numbers, folks. Nine consisting of three, four, and two. So you had a supposed Submarine from World War II in the fictional episode. That was just a cover story. You have an actual nuclear sub causing the true accident. We have the Maru, things coming to completion or a full circle. There are some that are conspiratorially inclined. Sacrifices? I don't know. I'm just the lonely scribe here doing internet research. And when I find these little coincidences, these little pieces of happenstance, oh, they were exploring the Pacific Ocean during the fictional episode. The tragedy occurred in the Pacific Ocean. Um, I bring them to you. I bring these coincidences to you for your edification, your amusement, your later research, and for me to eventually go back and say, I forgot to mention this coincidence. I forgot to mention this synchronicity. This was the killer link. I left that on the table. I went on and on. Everyone probably chiefed out when the dogs barked. Why did I upload this one? Why didn't I just re record? It's called rehearsal. You can do it. I blow my nose, and yet I still will probably make this the video that I upload. What? Folks, what are we doing here? I mean, I'm laughing here. The nine people died. It was, it's a tragedy there. You know what I mean? Let me just go over my notes, make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm missing everything. What the heck? Uh, I actually, even not doing it live. The X Files Piper Maru episode opening night. Oh no, that's that. That's that. Sure, I got the. Oh my god. Oh, this is worse. Okay, here we go. Oh god, now we got dead air on a recorded video. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is why we can't have nice things. I'm out. Folks, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. If nobody told you they loved you today, somebody just did that. Somebody is CW Chanter who's attempting to make I even had an outline here. I had an outline here. This is what I do with an outline. Pray for me. If you look at the description box below, if I remember to do it, there'll be links to how to support me. Come on, folks. You know what I mean? I've been at this 10 years, and this is the quality of work that I'm handing in. I need support here. You know what I mean? I think I qualify as a charity case at this point, for God's sakes. I didn't serve our country overseas. In fact, I never served our country. But for more than $1 a day, you could probably keep me going. I think that's what's going to take because here we go. The Maru connection etymology. We're repeating ourselves. We're just repeating ourselves just to make sure we didn't leave anything on the floor. So we left it all on the. We left it somewhere. Come on now. The synchronicity. Both vessels carry the Maru suffix, while common in Japanese merchant shipping. The X Files used it for a French salvage ship. Hey, that makes no sense. The meaning Maru translates to circle or perfection in maritime lore. It represents that a ship will complete its circle and return home safely. Irony. Okay. But also, it's a loop. It's also, could be a subtle communication, from their Chris Carter there that, like, we're trapped in a loop. You never gonna get out of this thing here, baby. Because the artificial. Oh, come on, you know what I'm saying here. The irony: both ships failed to complete the circle. The Piper Maru returned with a crew dying of radiation sickness. The radiation wasn't from the atomic bomb, though. It was from the artificial intelligent black goo. The black goo. And now, do you like how the conspiracy theory world, now that artificial intelligence can do things for them, like design T-shirts and do whatever else, they're all of a sudden they're cool with artificial intelligence? I don't know. Oh, whatever. But both ships failed to complete the circle. The Piper Maru returned home with a crew dying of radiation sickness and a hollowed out possessed diver. The Ehime Maru, also, I should have probably learned how to pronounce that, was physically shattered and sent to the bottom of the sea in minutes. The Ghost of World War II. Piper Maru fiction. The ship is salvaging a P-51 Mustang from WW2 that was escorting the third atomic bomb meant for Japan. The black oil purity is essentially a living ancient infection tied to that wreckage. In reality, the tragedy was caused by the USS Greenville, a nuclear-powered submarine. The collision happened while the sub was performing a maneuver for distinguished visitors, CEOs who were in Hawaii to raise money for the USS Missouri, the battleship where the Japanese surrender of WW2 was signed. Both stories involve modern nuclear technology, a nuclear sub versus a lost A bomb colliding with the lingering memory of WW2 in the Pacific. The unseen threat from below. In the Piper Maru X-Files episode, the threat is an invisible force, the black oil that enters through the eyes and possesses the host, leaving them radioactive. The horror comes from what is inside the vessel that shouldn't be there. In the real world tragedy, the horror was the sudden violent emergence of a black mass from the depths. The Ehime Maru crew had no radar contact and no visual. The submarine literally teleported into their space from below. Could explore the terrors from the depths. In the X-Files, the ocean hides a sentient alien infection. In 2001, it hit a 7,000-ton steel predator that surfaced without warning. Bureaucratic blackouts and cover-ups. Hey, Piper Maru, Agent Scully spends the episode fighting the FBI's decision to label her sister's murder inactive. The episode is about the government closing doors on the truth to protect a larger military-industrial secret. In the reality, in 2001, the U.S. Navy initially faced intense criticism for a perceived lack of transparency regarding the 16 civilians in the control room, because there was like all this issue with all these people were milling around the control room of the sub, like basically dancing around like the periscope and blocking access to like the readouts of the printing machines and whatever. The cover-up theme in the X-Files mirrored the real-world diplomatic tension and the Japanese perception that the U.S. was prioritizing military theater over civilian lives. The eyes and radiation visual motif. The Piper Maru is famous for introducing the black oil, the black goo, the intelligent black goo, manifesting in the eyes of its victims. Oh, yeah. And the Maru victims were identified primarily by dental records after a massive, unprecedented recovery operation to raise the ship from 2,000 feet. Again, raising ships from the depths. The radiation, the sailors on the Piper Maru suffered Hiroshima-level radiation burns. The Maru was a fisheries training ship. The burns here were metaphorical. A burning diplomatic incident involved the nation that actually suffered those historic radiation events, and also the USS Missouri connection. There you go. February 9th, 1996, The X-Files aired an episode about a ship called the Piper Maru that brought a radioactive nightmare up from the Pacific floor. Exactly 5 years later to the day, the Pacific claimed a real ship with the same name under circumstances that feel like a lost script. There you go. February 9th connection, 1996 versus 2001. Also, it's February 9th. So it's the 25-year anniversary of the actual real world tragedy, the 30th anniversary of the X-Files episode. My personal advice to you, if you're watching this on this day, do not take a submarine trip. I don't know. I'm not much one for hey, for magical thinking, that's yeah, do draw your own conclusions on it. But if you were to be offered a boat trip on this day, especially if you were to be offered a boat trip on anything near and or around the Pacific Ocean, especially if you were be offered a boat trip on anything called the Maru anything, wait for the next ship, because why not? Right? That's all I'm saying. The submarine connection. And stay away from submarines today. The submarine connection. Compare the fictional Zeus Faber, the WW2, nice Jewish name, the W2 Tubbs sub in the episode with the USS Greenville. Watch, I'll go back to this video and find out that I was on mute the whole time. The atomic legends haunted by the fall of World War II. There you go. Okay, folks, I love you. That's it. We're out. Bop. Okay. That's like giving me all this like I'm like, there you go. Okay, folks, I love you. Hopefully this won't be a total abortion.